Okay, welcome to another episode from the Big Kill Clan. This is your host, Master Alucard221984, otherwise known on YouTube as Alucard221984. You can also catch me up on Twitch. And so, YouTubers, how you doing? Today, I am joined again by Commissar Jake. What, did I say that wrong again?
Said it wrong.
Yes.
Commissar Jake.
Oh, there you guys go. Big news, I thought, with the transport. We'd lost my clan shirt. We found it. It's just not in a condition to wear at the moment. It's in the wash. And trust me, for Commissar's sake, he's glad I'm not wearing it. So anyway, like I was saying on the last video, was the unboxing of the Scuff controller. And because we had the unboxing of the Scuff controller, we decided we were going to do a complete controller review on the Xbox system. The video will be up shortly, which does have audio in it. That's describing the controllers and using it. So, first of all, I'm going to hand it over to Jake, and he's going to give you his interpretation of the controllers that he's used on that before, obviously, the video for the gameplay will be uploaded next, even though it's obviously recorded before this, which is our conclusions. So I will now hand you over to Jake, and he can fill you in on what's been happening with the controllers from his perspective.
Oh, you want me to talk about this one then?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, as everyone probably knows, they've all used the standard 360 controller, the good old plain white hard shell, rubber sticks, and the horrific joypad. And personally, this is my one here, the standard white one for both console and PC. And yeah, like for using this, that's a standard one. It's completely fine using. You have the usual trigger response, button response, etc., etc. I think the only little problem you'll ever have with these is the sticks will wear down. They will wear down incredibly quickly because it's not the best driver on the joysticks. Would you agree? Yeah.
Yep, totally. We'll get to my one when I get to it.
You won't really have any problems with that, but you won't really get any benefits from using this either. You'll be able to play a game, and that's fine for most people. But then, I'm afraid, you have stuff with my friend here, who prefers a little bit more out of his controller, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I play it, obviously, from my interpretation, I'm going to be playing it a lot more than you. I mean, okay, maybe not so much on the 360, or maybe not even on the Xbox One at the moment, but, I mean, we are going to have the whole sort of, I mean, I probably will use it. I mean, Titanfall's expansion's just arrived on the PC. I'm probably going to be playing that, so that's at least, what, 8 to 16 hours minimum.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm also playing soon with the up-and-coming playthroughs. I mean, I'm going to do a bit of, well, Ashley, aka Optic Midnight, she's doing a huge thing. She's got me addicted to it now. She's going back through some of the older games and maybe doing like free-for-all playthrough of some of the older COD titles. So, I mean, if I can get a few other guys in charge, and I've got a friend in the States, and he's just entered the Call of Duty series, but he's addicted to Black Ops 2. God forbid why.
It's not a game.
Yeah, it's not a bad game. The League plays great, and even the pros are still playing in the League play, but it's too close to Advanced Warfare.
Some people like Advanced Warfare,
well, no, I think Advanced Warfare. Look who's making it. For a start, Sledgehammer's making it. Who was the guys that worked on Modern Warfare 3?
I'm gonna be honest. I've never played PlayStation since I played since number 2.
Right. Well, Sledgehammer came out to, you know how Activision and Infinity Ward made
number 2,
and number 1. Modern Warfare.
It was a different company for number 1. It wasn't Infinity Ward, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if they bought through, but it's in there somewhere. I started with them. I remember it because the two games were exactly the same boxes except for the front covers.
Right.
Because it was a continuation of the story. So the guys knew exactly where they were taking it. And don't get me wrong, it's why the first two is so loved to this day. Now, like I said, Midnight herself, she's working from dot to prestige on Modern Warfare 2. And that, so, I mean, she's playing it for the first time with a Scuff. Like, Scuff were not, the company Scuff was not even on the go when Modern Warfare 2 was out. So we all played it with a standard controller, and I must admit, if I had an MLG controller back then, it would have been a flipping game changer. Probably why they made them. But, I mean, to even go from this one, which was, as everybody can see, it's a Black Ops controller. As you can see, guys, this was just shortly after Modern Warfare 2. You know, this was your pre-order edition controller for your Modern Warfare. The reason that we didn't use it on our testing today was because I can already tell it would infuriate the living daylights out of me.
Comparing it to pretty much the standard controller, you got a lot more pushback on the stick, on the triggers, which is good because you want to get your finger back up quickly. The rubber grips do make it a lot easier to hold for extended periods of time.
I mean, I'll give you a laugh if you want. For a bit of a giggle, you can tack that home and try that out tonight. I mean, you're off tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still off tomorrow.
So you can easily pop it back tomorrow.
It's always nice to have a fucking four-way joypad rather than the abomination which is on the 360.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll get back to that, and you can hit me that up when we come back to the PlayStation review tomorrow. Because I mean, we're just because I've got the Xbox One, I know everybody's going to be thinking that that's going to be taking all my attention. Well, I probably will. To be dead fair, I'll probably get more and more parts. I mean, obviously, when the new Astro headset comes off, then that's going to be a main focus on trying to get that. Now, guys, that is coming. I haven't forgot about it. I'm just not sure how I'm going to do it. I've got Jake testing out a few headsets, and he's brought back one review for the Complexity Sound Blaster Tactic 3D Rage headset for games consoles, which doesn't really work for most game consoles. It pretty much is a PC thing, but you can plug it into, apparently, the Xbox One and the PS4. But with the whole chat cable thing required for Xbox, I can't see how. I know I've got the cable for it, but it's just you just won't get all that sound effects and sound changes that you do unless you plug it into a PC, set it all up, unplug it, and plug it into your Xbox. And to me, that's hassle. Not worth testing that theory out. But getting back to the review in hand, I'll hand it back over to Jacob, and he can add more in on his comparisons. So we've gone from the starting off, which was the regular 360 controller, which is Jacob's, and we moved on to the Call of Duty one, which is the Call of Duty Black Ops one. Now, yes, I know they made a Modern Warfare 3 controller. Yes, I do remember the Modern Warfare 2 controller. But let's put these controllers into perspective. The Modern Warfare 3 controller was just a rebadged version of the Black Ops controller. However, the Black Ops controller was such a difference between it and the Modern Warfare 2 controller. The Modern Warfare 2 controller didn't even have buttons under the bottom of them. It was just literally, and the trigger stops wasn't invented, the trigger pressures, or trigger forces it's now known as. And it was just an Xbox controller with a vinyl shoved on the top and grips. That was the only thing, it had grips. So I never owned one because I didn't see the point. I had a couple of shots of it and I never bought one. Right. Now getting back to the topic of thing, we then went from that controller to the MLG Pro, the MLG Pro Circuit controller. This is another controller from Mad Catz. Now Mad Catz came out with this one, as you can see from the back. They've got the Mad Catz sticker. Yep, that's something with Mad Catz. Whereas this one was totally unbranded because the Mad Catz didn't want folk to know that they'd made it. That it was just simply, it was a Pro Circuit controller, and that's the end of it. And I'll hand this off, and you can have a quick sort of review of what.
Well, the first most noticeable thing is the weight. It is quite a bit heavier than the standard controller, and that is, for most people, quite nice. You like to actually feel it properly.
I remember one of the huge things that I found with it was the fact that if you go back to the old thing, the reason I owned I've always owned the PlayStations before the Xboxes, except for when it came to the 360. And I always remember the Xbox controllers were always the heavier controller.
Yeah, like they always have been the heavier controller, especially when you think about the first one, which is that massive bulky thing which no one liked.
Oh, I loved it. I loved the big ass controller.
The big ass one, it was just a bit uncomfortable in places. Like just
oh god, yeah, I would never want to play.
And then like when they reduced it down to size, then the version 2, the visualized box controller, much nicer.
Yeah, but I also think that they did that because they wanted to secretly drop the quality of the controller.
I thought the quality was about the same. The rubberized disc of the Xbox logo was much nicer than the big chunk of plastic they had on it. You know, the big clear plastic.
Oh yeah.
Which got scratched really easily.
Yeah, but okay, I'll give you that. But the actual controller itself, I went through far more of what they call the light controller, so the Xbox light controller, the Mark II controller, because it just seemed to break. The springs in it seemed to fracture more easily.
You know, I never actually had a problem with the controller itself.
Mm-hmm.
My problem's always been cables. Cables have always broken for me, and that's the most annoying part.
Yeah, totally. Now, if we take that into consideration with cabling, now you've got it in your hand, and I'll take this one in my hand because you guys can't really see it, but this is all braided cables. I'll pop that one up there, and pass me that one. And Jacob, I'll reiterate, these are all braided cables, but the difference between that one and this one is, well, I'll just simply show you. Okay. Fucking hell. There we go. This is not going to get pulled out of your controller anytime soon.
Oh yes, comparing it to what? This one?
No, this is this. They're all corded in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, that's solid. You know, that's the solid design of it.
It is a really good fit. You would actually have to mess around with that quite a bit before.
You'd have to really fucking drop it to break it. Whereas if this thing fucking landed, I mean, you can feel it there. It's starting to go.
Is it? No. Okay. Can't really get these anymore, so that's going to be a bit annoying when that breaks.
Yeah, you just have to talk really nicely to me and say, can I get your COD Jake controller?
Please.
Yeah.
This will be... no, it's the other one.
But like I said, you guys that's watching the video, you'll get to see in a few days, maybe, if we don't do it tomorrow, we'll probably do it, next week?
Yeah. Yeah, the next week will be not a lot, yeah.
We'll do a review next week on the PlayStation side of it. And everybody will probably get to next weekend, and of course, we'll be gaming hard. The PlayStation 4 thing will be kicking off, and depending on how it goes with the next experiments over the next few days, and if my Elgato records well with the PlayStation 4, we shall be recording some of the Big Kill team games. So hopefully we'll get a bit of good live streaming going on there, a bit of chatter. And I'm going to hand it back since we're now going to go from the... is there any more final things you'd like to say about the MLG controller?
The sticks themselves are a lot better quality. You've got much harder rubber, so it's not going to really run off so quickly.
What about the interchangeable from Dome to Frog?
Yeah, I see you did that. Like, that could be quite good because some people prefer, like, I find it a little bit easier when you had it set up originally. The Dome controller on a movement stick makes it much easier because you can get your finger around to the edge and it makes it easier to push slightly harder. And then you've got the concave button, the concave stick for shooting, which is good because you want to keep your finger on it as you keep moving around. Yeah. Or it's going to slip. The four contact points, just like they have in the original 360 controller, which, as I said, are quite sharp, so they stick in, so your thumb will stay in there. But I think the best part is it has quite a lot of spring when it comes back to going back to neutral.
Yeah.
So you're not likely, because, as I said, personally my controller, knock it off for a second, is I've used it so often that the spring to return back to neutral is mildly busted. So it will sometimes stick just slightly to the left outside the dead zone and will ruin things for me quite easily. But this one, the spring's right there, it's very strong. I think it will always go back to neutral quite easily. Dead zone all the way. So I won't have any problems. I guess the only problem I have, being as I've used a regular 360 controller the entire time, would be the start select button. I'm too used to them being a little bit farther down, like in between between the stick and the face buttons. But other than that, yeah, it's a really nice controller. And if I could even afford one of these, which I probably can't, I would maybe get one.
Oh yeah, the problem is that they're no longer in production, so if you can find them again. Well, like I said, that's Mark's controller, because you got mine. I'm the Sony guy, so I have the Sony one, and Mark had an Xbox one.
Good on you, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. If you guys don't know who Mark is unfortunately commonly known as Shadow 2040. And back in the days of Doom and Quake, there used to be a duo pro gamers, and we were called the Shadow Twins. I pretty much was his backup player, and I was always Ghost 2040. And I don't know what his email is on Xbox Live, but mine's has always been Detonator Oregon. So everybody sees that, they go, oh my god, and then everybody knows that my gamer tag changed all of a sudden from the Master Alucard, and from then on, Alucard was born. But Mark, he's I can't even remember what you said he was doing the last time we spoke. He was glad that into that, but he was giving me a royal kick in the keister and a shot in the ribs, saying that how dare I give up on the Xbox. But it was just like we all picked different teams. Mark, Mark's crew, Optic Crew is Mark. So yeah, he sent me over his MLG Pro Circuit controller because he saw Scuff, and I said to him I'd check out Scuff. I'd get my Scuff controller, so I used Midnight's product code and I nearly added his as well, just to see if I can get the both to off the same controller, but I thought better not. So anyway, Crew of course is the recruiter for Optic Gaming in the UK, or Europe I should say, not UK but Europe. And used to go out with Optic Moppy, but the two of them are gone separate ways. She just couldn't have the stress of being in pro leagues, and that was pretty much. And I kind of blame her. She's trying to get back now, so it's like, hat off to her. We're all trying to get back in, or trying to get in, and it's not going to be easy, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, getting back to the controllers, anything else we need to say about the other ones?
Rubberized plastic, always a nice little feature.
Oh yeah, but then here's the thing with that one, you can actually change them and have that glossy plastic.
Yes, I think that is the one being pointed out. These can be just interchanged.
Yeah.
Easily.
But that's it in a nutshell. That was the comparison and the comprehension. So, I don't think there's much else to consider about.
Really, it's a controller in the end.
It's a controller in the end. It's an MLG one. The trigger stops go further back than the regular ones.
It's a lot more, you need a little bit more push to it, and you can feel the quality right there.
But that'll increase. It's designed more for like the length of thing. It's just to get that extra draw on the sniping, especially if you've had increased thing. So of course, now we go on to the one that everybody wants to know about, is the Scuff one. Now, as you can see, it's a Scuff Optic Hybrid. I didn't go for the Ghost controller, and I didn't go for the Stealth controller. I didn't like the look of them. I did like the breaking up of the green. I thought, oh, it's an Xbox controller. Why not have a green one? So yeah, I got an Optic. I got an Optic one. It's also got a lovely Optic Scuff written across the Optic Hybrid, isn't it? Optic Hybrid along the back. But I'm going to hand this over to Jacob, since Optic and everything else doesn't quite really mean much to him at all. Means nothing. And he can go over the controller from a complete new perspective.
When it comes to the feel, It feels very much like a standard 360 control when you first get a hold of it. Until you notice the handle grips. Yeah, it feels slightly larger here in this area, back control, so your fingers curve more naturally into it. Yeah, but it does come with a downside. For me, as a regular player, I'm not much into my first-person shooters. I play just games in general. But the paddles, while I'm sure will be absolutely fantastic for someone like you who plays a lot of the FPS games and needs quick access to.
Well, put it this way: if you're aiming, the last thing you want to do is take your thumb off the aiming stick to hit a button. We'll go into, like, after we discuss this, we'll have to talk about its rival. And the reason I haven't actually plugged it in and used it during our testing was because we weren't really needing like that many buttons remap, to be dead honest, for the purposes and uses of it. And we will be talking about the Razer Sabertooth, which is, of course, the second. Well, we'll go into pricing when I talk about my part of it, obviously, because obviously I'm the one who knows how much it costs. But other than that, it's that. So, I mean, going on about the buttons, just to jump in there a bit. Yeah, I mean, when you're playing games like first-person shooters or you're playing third-person shooters, you're aiming a lot. You're using that right trigger. Really, the last thing you want in the middle of a heated bit of the game is take that thumb off that joystick to go hit another button. True. I mean, yeah, everybody focuses on the first-person shooter aspect. Of course, COD's the most popular game in the world right now. One of them.
Yeah, if you have to really be going to players, probably League of Legends nowadays.
I hear that the popularity of it is dropping a lot.
Oh, yeah,
because the difference is, I mean, the thing with first-person shooters is you can tell the levels, right? You can have an amateur player playing at the same level as a pro player, okay? But pro players really work well because they play in a team, and that's what puts them up above everyone else. With League of Legends, it's the opposite. Amateur players will really struggle to play against pro players.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Because the pro players are all there in a room, they're all using the same thing, and they all got their strategies, and it's a strategy-based game, and it's all wallop. Two guys take on one guy. So everybody starts at level 0 and builds themselves up. And that's how it works, and that's how it's played. And in the end, that's relatively what it is. So, getting back to, I think that's why Call of Duty is now being reprimanded as being the most popular game across the whole systems.
Yeah, but if you're talking about like general user, like not including the ones who basically just play games, like you're talking about like a person who comes back from work, decides to sit down and play a game.
Yeah.
So like Call of Duty, you pop it in the system, you play a couple of rounds, it feels great.
Exactly.
League of Legends, you really do need to sit down, you need to be in the mood, you need to have that strategic mind.
Well, it's that. The three top games, apparently, according to IGN, Machinima, and I can't remember the name of the fun one that's on YouTube occasionally. Used to have their own TV show, but don't now.
G4?
Is it G4?
I think
no, GameStop. Because GameStop used to have Game Bite Size and Game Weekly and all that used to run on Bravo. Oh, maybe better before your time.
Probably, yeah.
They literally, it basically now goes Call of Duty, any of them. Do you want to have a hazard of guesses what the next one down is?
World of Warcraft?
Of course.
Actually, the amount of players for World of Warcraft has actually gone down.
It has gone down.
Dramatically.
But the fact that even though it's come down, it's only been that Call of Duty's the only one out of the main three that took its spot. That kind of gives you an idea how many people still are addicted to it.
Like active players, yeah.
Do you know that there's a fourth game that's been knocked out of the series because they've now classified it not as a game?
Oh.
Second Life.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a bit of gaming news for you guys. Yeah, Second Life has now been declassified as a game.
It's not really a game, is it? It's more of like an interactive social platform.
It's classified as a social platform now. But I mean, if we've got to be careful because Minecraft will go the same way.
Minecraft is a creativity tool and a game.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? It can end up becoming, as somebody said, it's Lego for geeks. I find highly humorous because I thought Lego was for geeks to start with. But never mind. Getting back to the property of the games. Well, how did you find the controller? Well, I trying to dig out the one that every week will be hissing and spitting at me for when I take out of the box.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll go on exactly where I was before I got interrupted about the triggers on the back. The pedals are, like, as I said, for someone like him, be perfectly fine. Me as a regular gamer, I do more things than just FPS games.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a problem for me because my fingers travel a little bit on the back and I'll accidentally hit the panels. You know, so it's not that much of a problem, but for someone like me, when I want to just play the game, that can get a bit annoying, and that's just something which can happen. Can be ignored, but I guess if I played with this more, I'd get used to it, wouldn't I?
Yeah,
That's
well,
the thing, ain't it?
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, it's just the whole. Oh fuck me! I've just found it with the Sorry, guys. I have been doing my nutting, even though I've been playing it and I've been quite professional and I've been keeping the level of the gameplay up quite considerably, as Jacob will agree with me. That in the back of my mind, I lost one of my control freaks. Now that's a topic for another day when I go into control freaks.
Maximum?
Yep.
Okay. Sadly, back to the standard joypad for the 360 controller, which, as I said, I don't know if everyone's so considerate, but it still is pretty bad, regardless, just because of the shape. You can't get into that sharp angles, you know.
Oh.
No definite angles there. But, no, sorry, definite diagonals. But it does feel slightly more in plays. It feels like it's slightly easier to get into those directions, but personally I'd rather have, say, something like you have on the LMPG, which is the kind of PlayStation style one. The sticks are much nicer. You got the feedback, you know, you've got the pullback to neutral, which is quite nice. It is a much higher quality rubber, which is always nice, that harder kind of plasticky rubber. The trigger guards, yeah, they're alright. Like, if you're playing a first-person shooter game, those would be perfect, because it's the benefits of the kind of the force feedback from, say, the Black Ops 2 controller.
Yeah.
But without the need to push it.
Oh, it's actually a Black Ops 1 controller.
Black Ops 2
controller. It was disastrous.
Oh, really? Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'll be telling you about it just in a few minutes when we go over the controllers as to why it was dropped.
But, yeah, I think actually the trigger guard is probably a better option than force pushback. Oh, because it doesn't feel like your fingers are being pushed, rammed back up every couple of seconds. So it gets you just into that position and stops you before you go into the dead zone, and then you release, you're back up. So if you really like your quick trigger pulls, that'd be perfect. My memory serves me right, you said these can be removed quite easily?
Yeah, there's an Allen key that comes in the box.
Oh, there you go. So if you don't like them, you can always just get rid of them. But then, if you bought scuff controllers, why would you want to remove them?
Oh, yeah, that's my point.
Standard kind of clicky L and RB buttons, that's perfectly fine. Sadly, standard plastic rubbery cable. Probably would have been nicer with a braided cable, because those are much easier to tie up and store without any damage to them. Standard kind of like 360 button with its own design. That is, what do you call it? Kind of the optic hybrid.
Oh, the optic hybrid. The optic button is just like optic is the team that the symbol is.
Not sure if slightly off-center. It looks a slightly off-center, but that may just be your one. I like the fact that they have the start and back button in the stand positions, because as says, this is meant to be like a standard custom 360 controller. Yeah. Yeah, standard like X, Y, B, A buttons. Probably a little bit more behind them, but I'm not really noticing because
the other thing I'd like to point out is that all these controllers that we've shown, except for the Xbox One controller, which will be shown shortly, is all PC compatible.
That is important.
So if you're not an Xbox user, don't turn away, because we're going to go on about other things. So, is that pretty much it for the stuff?
Yeah, other than my only other little comment being, I do believe the joypad's slightly off-center, but I can't tell if that's a molding issue there, or if it's just been screwed on a little bit.
No,
that sounds like slightly off-center. It may be like the
yeah, because it's all to curve inwards. The whole controller's designed to go inward.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is it's like you can't really see it because of the camera. Even though it's a 1080p camera, I'd need to have like some massive amount of lights on just to highlight every tiny bit. But we're going to move on to the one controller we didn't test. Now the reason I didn't test this because honestly, you have to sit with this thing on a PC. You have to sit with this thing. Now everybody will be screaming at me, oh, you could just do it on the computer. You do it on the computer, it stays on the computer. It does not transfer to the controller. If you want to program this controller, you have to push a button here. It'll come up program, and you get program A or program B. And then you have to hold down the button and then press whatever button you want it to do, which is fair. I'm going to then pass it off to Jacob, and then I'll be going into my thoughts on the controllers. That's all.
First thing to notice, it does go back to the kind of shinier plastic, which is alright for some people, but I think after you handle the other couple of controllers, it just feels a bit off.
Yeah.
But
I must
that's
admit,
something you'll get used to.
I must admit, I played with razors before I ever dreamed of going after scrap, to be dead honest. But it was more of a thing. I mean, when you guys see my setup video, you'll see how much razor equipment is sitting in this room.
True. Yeah, you've got the kind of ergonomic hand grips at the back. And
Much more aggressive.
Yeah.
Styling, though.
You can feel the kind of like a mild sharpness to this.
Yeah, like I said, it's a mild thing, but I mean, when you put the triggers in it, your fingers aren't clamped on them.
Yeah.
So it's not digging into you anymore because your fingers are running across onto the trigger.
Yeah, like I haven't had a chance to use triggers. I'm sure like someone like you have no problem using them.
I actually, it's one of these unusual things. Do you know what the triggers really come in handy for?
What?
For person.
Yeah.
So people like your brother, I mean, you were telling me earlier, and I don't know if it's in the video that we're about to air after this, is the fact that he plays Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, he's playing through Dark Souls 2 at the moment.
I think that's on the Xbox as well, isn't it?
Xbox, yeah. Xbox 360, PS3, and PC only.
The problem is, the PC one though, to be bluntly honest, if you're really playing hardcore PC games, you're not going to use a controller.
Yeah, like, if you were, say, playing Dark Souls 1 for the PC, you would have to use a controller because they really messed it up when it came to the porting. But now, for the new one, the new one's actually much better. They have a lot more mouse control built into it. Works a lot.
No, but come on. I mean, if you're going to use games that's solely on the PC, are you going to switch to, are you going to port the controller in, or are you going just to go with a mad, well, I say a mad-ass setup. Like I said, Sabertooth is part of my Razer kit before I got Xboxes and all that. I mean, guys, come on. Here's the mouse. I don't need to show you the keyboard. And of course I have the old Reaver. Yeah. Now, you can just go poof, keyboard, big ass keyboard, membrane keyboard, or are you going to use a thing that's sculpted to your hand just to play PC games? Having that at one side, the mouse on the other, and you're just going to go like that. It's the most ergonomic feeling to it. You're not clutching the controller, you're not got your elbows in. You're there, you're just hunkered in when you play.
In the game.
Pretty much.
To quote that.
I mean, I played, to give you an idea, I actually played the, what was I playing? Titanfall. I started with the controller. Could you stop dismantling, taking just rubber cups off the thing? And the reason I put them on there is because I was trying to show up the marks from the from the control freaks, which I'll be going on to in just a moment. Yeah, you guys will be starting to see a run in 3-minute controllers that most of them are green and black because they're on the Xbox. No, I am not changing the colours to big kill. We're still staying black and blue. Most of us are still Sony fanboys, to be bluntly honest. But anyway, that's pretty much everything now we can really say about that one. I mean, I'll run the controllers in reverse order. For me, I mean, you guys have heard me back and forth. I'll talk on the games. I like the idea of a secure cable, but by God, you can tell that they stole the idea of the cable from the MLG controller, because that controller is a lot older than this one. And I must admit, on Razer's Orca, which was the controller before this, you didn't actually have the panels on the back. You just had the buttons. Which, okay, in fair dues, if you just had buttons and they were like right in there, then yeah, you could use your alternative fingers. But see, some of the gamers I see, they play what we call the crab configuration. But I don't have the strength in my middle fingers to work with triggers. However, when I use the PlayStation 3 controller,
when it's a kind of very light kind of...
No, you end up with the crab scenario of playing it like that. Because you use the upper buttons. You don't use the lower ones unless you specifically port them down. Now, for anybody who's not really overly game oriented, what I mean by porting is when you go into your controls and you deliberately rearrange the button layout. That's what we call porting. Which is in a sense, you're porting your buttons to alternative areas of the control.
So basically key binding.
No, you're actually porting because you're making the controller act like another controller. So you're porting your Xbox control setup. In a sense, you're porting it to make it feel more Xbox-like. I don't know. Here's the other thing. I'm doing this rather sort of like nonchalantly, shall we say, because I'm trying to do this in a quite sort of undisclosed manner because the light's getting darker and darker. Here's the one thing that I like that the scuff doesn't really do. Yeah, I can have answer that thing. I have just removed the paddles from the back, and I will, with a conclusion. I think that's not. Yeah, it's not. So one goes on that side. You have to get them in because they've actually curved the shape of this rubber so that it fits the holes. And it's like raised up at one side and not the other. So as long as I don't put them upside down, we're fine. Yeah. As you can see through there, I've just clearly removed the paddles. So you don't have to have them in with this.
That's good to know.
But
I'll take it in a second.
yeah, I didn't remember the freaking hell I did, didn't I? That one fell out. Oh, somewhere. Get some better eyesight. See, when you don't put them in right, they fall out. Yeah.
Well, again, I'll say one last thing about the Razer controller. Compared to the other ones, which all have the kind of the traditional raised, face buttons.
Yeah.
That one has very inset ones, but rather than having the physical kind of push feeling on it, they're micro triggered. So they're really, really sensitive. They have a kind of mouse clicky feel to them. And like, I guess for some people that'd be really nice. Oh yeah, it's mechanical. Like, but for someone like me, when I'm used to the kind of full-on, push of a standard Xbox button, it just feels a bit awkward.
I'll tell you one thing though that I don't like about it, and it's a shame because it's such a good product. Is I played when I was away. I didn't have the scuff, and when I was away, I didn't really have the MLG either. I had it for the PlayStation, but unfortunately, they didn't port the PlayStation version to the PC. That's really a shame. But see, when I came up to that, like, button bashing, it doesn't always key the responses. So unless it was like, hold B, done. And that was great for that, but no, no, it didn't quite register it. So, I mean, I was a big disappointment on that one. Trigger buttons, yeah. But its response time was pretty low and pretty bad, to be bluntly honest. It certainly wasn't a Call of Duty PC ported controller by any means. But then again, I'm sort of biased when it comes to Call of Duty. That you have to go with the controllers that they really worked with, and Mad Catz and Scuff is like the two big names. They didn't really work with Razer, so Razer did the best, and the controller is super responsive. If you're playing a game like Tomb Raider or I don't know, maybe some of the shooters, but not the in-your-face sort of Call of Duty, Battlefield, and that sort of thing. Sort of controls, but you know, you can get there. So yeah, that's on the way though. I'll pop that there and put it away. I am going to get a case from my discuss. Now that we'll talk about Astros and all that other lovely things a bit later on, and as time goes by. But getting back to it, I think from there. So that's over excessive buttonage in response time to sacrifice. To Scott. Now, I love the paddles because I was slowly getting into the jump shots last night before I got really, really tired and just packed it in. But yeah, I do like the fact that a lot of the buttons on this are silent, except for those ones. And of course these ones are not silent because you can hear that, everything that bashes into that. But then again, I just couldn't believe just how good and responsive that was. So if that's the case for this, I can't wait to see how that's going to be on Scuff. Now, we've been having a debate all day today on colours, haven't we?
A little bit, yeah.
Now, everybody's curious about the fact I got black Astros, because they don't do a blue and black. But they do blue and black controllers, so why haven't I bought a blue and black Scuff? Let's face it, guys. There's not many of us playing. I mean, with a clan size of 7, 8 including myself, and how many of them do you think play on the Xbox? Not many. I went on the clan last night while I was playing this and thought I would look up and see who played what. And on it, I was shocked to see that only me and the clan leader played on the Xbox. And in actual essence, it's not him playing it, it's his son that plays it. So, anyway, I love my Scuff controller, but I think if I was going to do it, I would follow Ashley, aka Optic Midnight, and I would probably just do like single player on it, or when I have you around, do it on, use it like a bit of co-op, you know, a bit of Extinction, and maybe probably do a little bit of GTA 5. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it yet. He has to convince me to go back to. I have GTA 4 sitting somewhere and I've not played it.
It's a completely different experience.
I know, but it's just no. It's going to take a lot for me to trust GTA again. But don't worry, sports fans, because he's working on me. Ashley's working on me by doing.
The important question is: did you like San Andreas?
I can't even remember it, to be dead honest. You got to mind how many
Like,
games
did you like
I was playing.
GTA 3 or Vice City or something?
Well, that's it. I can't remember how I felt about them because
that'd be really easy to convince you. Because it feels like
you got to remember what console had just made its debut when those games came out.
Xbox.
Xbox One, the original Xbox, and what game was on that?
Halo.
Oh God.
2 as well.
Halo 1 and Halo 2. I have lost the games. I will put my hand up, and I'm going to get the anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to buy them again because they're releasing it in HD.
Yeah, I was going to get the anniversary ones, but what console is that on?
Xbox 360. The anniversary edition is on 360.
Right. So
and then from what I heard is the plan to re-release the first one, second one, and third one all on.
No, they're not doing the second one. Machinima was saying that last night.
Oh, last night. Okay.
That there was thoughts of them doing an anniversary of the second one But because the third one's already out on the 360, and 4 is out on the 360.
There's really no point, is there?
There isn't, yeah. Because then you would have to, if they did 3, they would have to do 4. There's only going to be another year before Halo 5 comes out.
Oh yeah, Halo 5. Microsoft sticking with their guns. Their flagship franchise.
But yet again, it's another 343 studio, so is it going to be any good?
I want to say,
especially now it's going to be taking on its other rival, which is Bungie's
Destiny, which they've thrown so much money behind. It is guaranteed not to fail.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. Now getting back to, I actually love the scuff. I really like it. It's very ergonomical, but it was just super comfortable. And unfortunately, the recorder didn't record while we were playing it with me playing with Scuff, because we got right up to nearly completing the level as well. We nearly beat.
So you kind of get our secondary embarrassing playthrough.
So yeah, you guys do. You get the embarrassing gameplay through. I used the MLG controller and we choke about 25% into the level. Yeah, which sucks, but it happens. We all have our good times and our bad times. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I have Titan. There will be videos for Titanfall coming out. I'll be doing my videos. I've just finished the tutorial on Xbox One, and I'm pretty sure I can just hit Control Alt record when I play the expansion pack on the PC. So there'll be a bit of that happening in the future. So that being said, we've like I said, we've got the trials for the PlayStation 4 with the game capture card, which we'll be we'll be doing a bit, and I'm sure Jacob will get a chance to have a play around with the Xbox One. So I mean, I'm sure I can stick him on the Ghost single player for a quick play around, so he can have his way with the controller. And getting that back, then we'll be playing. Like I said, I'll be doing a few more Xbox 360 videos. We'll be doing a bit of COD, sort of looking at playing old versions of COD, and I'm going to start streaming it now that I know how to work with Gamecaster. So we'll just be, I think it'll be just like Control and S while it's running in the background, with the webcam going, so that I can just go, so you can see me screaming like a lunatic every time I get beaten by some little 8-year-old on a game that I remember playing when it flipping came out. So yeah, well also you'll get to see me wearing the Astros a lot. Unless, well, let me see, will it be the Astros or will it be the Turtle Beaches? If I'm on the Xbox, it'll be the Astros. If I'm on the 360, it will be the Turtle Beaches. And if I'm on the PlayStation, it will probably be the Razors or the Tritons. Until, of course, my new Astros turn up. And then there'll be Astros on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. No, I was talking about Astros now. Astros will be on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox One. And the Turtle Beaches will be on the Xbox 360. And I will probably have... probably the Tritons probably on the PlayStation. But that's another thing. Getting back to, as far as I'm thinking, I mean, for me, the MLG controller is really good for games that are not COD. However, I really play my games with Control Freaks, so I get that added sort of sound from Control Freaks. And we were actually going to go over that now. I put them all up here, so I will give you that, and I will grasp the Control Freaks. Yeah, I've slept last night, so this today's Monday, because you were here yesterday. So I have these ones. These are the Black Ops 2 ones. These are my Halo ones, which are strangely enough for the PlayStation. Get to see Halo on the PlayStation, but never mind. These are sliding out of the camera focus again. These are Injustice. These are actually where they used the War ones. So it's kind of unusual, because what I was going to do with the controllers is the fact I'm going to, well, I'm just going to do it now actually. I'm going to put them there. Take off the green ones, use them for the Xbox. I'm going to take one red one and pop it onto the blue one, and for this one I will take off that one and pop that one on it. Take that one off, and I will stick the blue ones on, just to give everybody a bit of a look as to see what's going on with that one. And I will put my vortexes on just so I can give you guys a quick show of that. Now, Jacob's not a very big fan of the control freaks. Let's just call them down there. So they are open and closed. So they go back into there. And pop that back in there. So, then she knows that. So, as you can see from these, you can see that the texture dries. Like I said, I don't really do reviews on control freaks because you either use them or you don't. But just to let everybody know why they're used. If you just see, there's plenty of videos on why. It's just that if you move your finger across here, you know, even you have to move a good considerably, and it only moves a little down here, so it improves your aiming. And vice versa. If you want to know more about the skins, I'll do a little bit link in the description sort of idea with them later on. And go on henceforth. Actually, just as much as I love the vortexes, I will pop these on for just now. And secretly take a black one and pop them on there. Even though that a certain young lady was shooting me because I said if I love the vortex I would never take them off. But anyway, you can't really see the black ones too much, but you can see it's pretty big. And the green one just matches the controller, which I think looks a bit better. Next question, well, that's pretty much me said it for the scarf and why I opted having them. And going back to our big discussion on colours, and of course I'm getting the lovely red, Alucard, Big Red himself, Astro headset coming. And I thought, I mean, having in hand, because I really like to have a matching controller for the Xbox, but as much as I love the new Scuff, the old Scuff controller, the new Scuff controller is just a little bit green, isn't it? It is just a tad. And if I was getting a green Astros, then yeah, you are. I'm not. It's coming and it's neon red to match the old Fox Riders jumper and everything else. So, I suppose even if I was like using a Razer unit with it, it wouldn't be too bad. But come on, you're getting cream of the crop when you're putting that set of Astros on your console. So, I think quality 7.1 surround sound headset with and everything else with a quality controller to match wouldn't look too bad. No guys, I am not going to buy the limited edition Cherry Bomb Control Freaks to go with the controller. God no, I hate those controllers. They have come out with a raise. Again, how you see my blue one for Halo. They've come out. They didn't want to be sexist, so they came out with pink ones. And the only reason I know this is that there is a lovely young lady in London who has a pink set of Astros, a pink Scuff controller, the pink Control Freaks, and matches them up with the red Injustice ones. And she's got the 360 set, and she's got the Xbox set and PS3 set. So yeah, look out for that. It's going to be horrifying memories, just remember seeing it. But yeah, so yeah, my Astros will be coming, and they will be roughly about that colour. So I will have a matching red set for my private play. And I think that's a really relatively good way to put it. You know, the black set will be for the team play, and the red set will be for private play. Will I be putting them on the Xbox 360? Well, I probably could do. You know, there's nothing stopping me. But I think in generality, I'm probably going to be working more with the Xbox. I mean, I've got enough. I mean, the mix amp for the Turtle Beak Shadows, I'm not too bad. I would say it's on par. It doesn't have as good as adjustment as obviously the mix amp does, but you know, you kind of beggars can't really be choosers. You know, they did what they did with the money they had, and they had to knock out a £40 headset, and I think they did it quite successfully. But I mean, I've got tons of other £30 headsets, but they don't come with mix amps. But then again, I have £100 headsets that don't come with mix amps. But yeah, we'll be going more on headsets probably in our next video. Because I mean, it won't take us. I mean, the difference between the PlayStation stuff is we cover 2 consoles, 2 controllers, plus the MLG one in between. So it's 3 controllers, whereas we've covered how many controllers in this video? 5, yeah. So I mean, we've done that. So I mean, so Switch fans, I mean, later on tonight I will probably work on our gameplay video and punt it up. Just stick it on a memory card, plug it into the Ultrabook, and give a quick sort of listen to it under the raven. Let's see if I don't fall asleep in the meantime. That's unusual. What is that? My background's gone to Razor. It was sitting on MSI before, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway, getting back to my sort of my feelings on the controllers. The Scuff is definitely one of the more prolific. I would say one of the more prolific sort of controllers I've ever come across. And definitely has been I've lost my inside screensaver.
No, something to fix later.
Yeah, something to fix later. But anyway, that's my nothing.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I was thinking that I had a blue one. I'm pretty sure I had a blue screensaver. It's not background.
Oh, it's actually full marked MSI.
There you go.
There you go.
Screensaver. That's maybe on the right side as well. No. That's maybe on the laptop. That's maybe what it is.
Possibly.
Here we go.
Much better. It's dark, but maybe not bad.
Well, I mean, I love having the Razer background, but it's only on the laptop because I can change it around and overly too fussed. But if people were to watch a video of my gaming rig and all of a sudden it's all green and black, people might get confused. So, but yes, no, I'm a big Razer fanboy. I am definitely an inducted member of the cult of Razer, as they call it. No, it literally does. I'll show you. There's a huge... Oop, shit.
What if leave now?
No, because the actual bits in here. I don't know. I keep Oh, my SteelSeries sticker. I still have to put one. I don't really see the point in putting SteelSeries sticker on my desktop since I don't actually have it. I don't really use the SteelSeries much. Yeah, there we go. You want to read that? You guys have probably read it more times than you were sure it. Into the coat razor, and there's the Naga. This is the Naga one. This is all I thought I'd lost. Unless I've got, yeah. What? Who gives a fuck?
No, I said no, only $50.
I know. I thought it was quite good actually. Where is that? To install multi-blue. Oh, it must have been for the. Oh, it's the 3D software for the Blu-ray drive. Yeah, I bought a Blu-ray drive for 3D. No, I didn't. I knew in the back of my head I wasn't going to run Blu-ray 3D monitors off of it. And then I remembered I had a blue 3D TV, so I thought, well, I better hide get the software just in case I knock the TV in it. But anyway, yeah, I still have stickers to stick on them. There will be a video later on when if I ever do another setup video, you guys will get to see, oh, lovely stickers, all the communications. It's like, thank you for being so nice to us. Here, we've sent you stickers to put on your computer. So why not? So Lime XP360 has been a godsend with me at the moment. If they hadn't come through with backing up the nutritionist with the G Fuel, I would have been in shit street, to be bluntly honest. It was taking forever to get stuff to me. And they said, look, we'll take the contract. Thank you for the money. Fortunately, Power Body UK, they are great guys, but unfortunately they were let down by their supplier. No, not the supplier. It was the courier. Couriers they had.
Yeah, we can get some pretty bad couriers up here.
Well, no, everybody's going to hate me for saying this, but the Royal Mail guys that work with Lime were cracking. I mean, I kid you not. My control freaks arrived within 12 hours. And it 12 hours I had it, within 12 hours. And that was a 2-day delivery. And I got it that quick. And I got a fair whack for them, to be dead honest. I mean, they're really good. They work with everybody. You'll find them on eBay, you'll find them on Amazon, you'll find them on their own website, which is where I buy it from. I like a phone number I can phone up and go, oh, I've got an order number, can you please check out it? But I think my poor Astro headset got sent over from, I think they didn't have any in stock, and just said, dude, like, we'll get one direct from Astro. We'll have to wait and see. I'm more disappointed. I watch videos on what people get in their gear, and I should have scuff. I haven't looked through this box, but I should have stickers from Scott. If you haven't worked it out, I'm a bit of a sticker freak. Oh, I didn't notice that bit. No, that's just plastic.
Yeah, on the phone, nothing on the phone.
No. So yeah, I'm highly disappointed. Somebody clicked my stickers.
And then Allen key, which is really easy to miss.
What?
The Allen key. You missed it the first time.
Oh, yeah. For all you guys, we did mention it's so freaking narrow. I should have like... Oh, I can. That's it. That's the box here. So yeah. I got an optic scuff and I didn't get stickers, so it must come with like a regular scuff. Instead of like, you know, this was a custom scuff. I mean, it wasn't even sealed when I opened it.
Well, yeah, like I said, they normally have tape. But it didn't.
Yeah, so maybe some horrible nasty person that the sorting of this would make for a sticker. No, so I don't blame the scuffs, like. That's the one for the razors. You see how much bigger it is. and less likely to move. So I'll leave that on top of my Astro's hard case. But yeah, then getting back to that, I must admit I do enjoy the MLG controller, which has been one of the nicer ones. And I'll tell you what I'll do. You can hear that. That's a bit bigger than the one on the right, but you can obviously tell that's where it came from. I wouldn't be too surprised if Wildcats and Mad Cats and Razor didn't come together with a few ideas on that control. And as I said, that tomorrow we will be discussing, that's the PlayStation one, so it's exactly the same, it's just these two are here. But just to freak all you guys out, at home, aha! And it still works, I promise you. I'll do a demonstration on why that actually still works. But yeah, it's got a home button instead of an Xbox button. But more of that later on. A lot of you guys will be asking me about why not. Yes, I have seen it. Scuff does do a PlayStation 3 controller. However, would you want one? Probably not. Well, with this day and age and the PlayStation 4 being so damn cheap in comparison, you're not really going to stick around with PS3.
They hold on to it if you've got quite a large collection, but
yeah, but you're gonna use it for sentimental reasons, you know. You're not going to keep playing it like I call it. See, I use the word competitively in a lot more different aspects than what most people say. But you're not going to with the more and more of the new games coming out, you're less likely, shall we say, maybe not more likely, maybe a worse choice of words, but you're going to be less likely to stick with it. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be as multi-platform as I can be for as long as I can be, but you got to remember, guys, they're only given the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 an 8-year life from November of last year. We're nearly at November again, so that's already a year down, so we're coming up to being only 7 years of it left. I mean, let's face it, MLG's already kicked the 360s out of the gaming competitions. Microsoft, in a way to kick Sony out of it, is that they've basically donate an Xbox One. The Xbox Ones for all the competitions that their games are in. Makes sense. So, yeah, it was quite funny watching some of the teams who Scuff haven't gotten their controllers done yet, having to play with like regular Scuff controllers with no badges on it. It was quite good. So, leading back into the whole thing, going from that, the MLG one, down to the, I mean, Mad Cats, let's face it, they're pretty fucking good, to be dead honest. I have their Phantom controller for the PlayStation, but I'm not going to review it because it's not earth-shatteringly good. You know, it's a bit like their Call of Duty Black Ops controller for that.
It's not a game changer.
It's not. It's not like Scuff is. It's not like their Pro controller. See, a lot of people say, oh, but your Pro controller isn't groundbreaking. Well, as I've just shown you, you could turn an Xbox controller into a
PlayStation style one and a PlayStation 1 into an Xbox One.
Correct.
It has that customization.
Yeah. So, I mean, there'll be more on that later on. So, I mean, if I really get bored with trying to play in an Xbox style in an Xbox game, then I can just go pop, 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 bam, and away I go. You can't beat that. Could you imagine having that mindset at an MLG tournament? You could enter yourself into Xbox ones. You could enter yourself into PlayStation ones and just flip the controller.
Just a quick question. can you move the face buttons like the X, Y, B, A, triangle, down? Because if so, that would be a perfect controller for people both left-handed and right-handed, because you could simply just swap the sticks over and the face buttons.
It's different properties.
Yeah, which is a shame, but...
Your analog sticks is the same properties as your D-pad.
No, I'm just saying, it would be nice.
In a sense that that's just a bulky thumbstick. You know?
Yeah.
Where that's why they've done it. And MLG just took that to the next level and say, yeah, well, we can just hot swap them. When you lift the pads off, they've got the exact same contacts, yeah. Whereas if you could lift off, the buttons have to have values.
Okay, true, yeah.
So we have that anyway. So let's bring this to the conclusion for the 360 Xbox controller review. Is what control? If you had the choice to go off to a LAN event, what controller would you pack in your bag?
I'd probably take the Pro League one.
The Pro League one.
Yeah, that one, it feels fantastic to use. The customization options are pretty great. I can use it for more than just FPS. I know you can use any of it for more than FPS gaming, but it has that setup where you know, it feels like a standard controller with more to it. You know, It feels a lot higher quality. I like the threaded cables. It's just, for me, it's a much better choice.
So for you, you definitely stick with the 2008 to 2010 Pro Circuit Pro League controller. Yeah, I must admit, it is a really good controller. It's something that you're never going to get in trouble with if you walk into a LAN party. Nobody's going to say, oh, you've got an unfair advantage, you can't use that controller. However, I probably wouldn't go to an MLG tournament of a game I wouldn't play. So I would probably have the control freaks and I would have the scuff with me. And I would still take the scuff. But yeah, no, I totally agree. If I was playing a racing game, it would be a nightmare. If my finger slipped off the grip and hit the paddle on it. Yeah. Fucking break in the middle of the... Yeah, no, I can totally understand where you're coming from. However, I just think that it's down to me as what would I be playing at a LAN event. And I would probably be playing COD. It's one of those things that once you get used to playing with them, I mean, it only took me last night to get used to the controller, and you saw the difference playing when I had it in my hand and the things I could do with it. But yeah, no, I totally agree on the basis of an amateur guy starting up. The Pro Circuit controller is just a game-changing controller. Also, if you're a guy switching between Xbox and PlayStation, or PlayStation and Xboxes, you just can't knock that just quick, boom, change.
You can make it so both controllers are exactly the same for you.
Yeah, whatever your preference. Yeah. And nobody can get onto it because you're not actually adding something to the controller that's not on a standard controller. You're just changing the layout. Yeah. And I suppose in that sense, that gives you that added benefit, whereas the scuff gives you additional things. So wrapping up in generality, we have one, I mean, we both agree that the scuff controller is an amazing controller in itself. It's
pretty decent. I wouldn't call it like amazing or game-changing, but it is a pretty good controller for what it is.
But you can tell, that, I mean, that's specifically first-person shooter, as you said. But for a controller that is built for one
purpose, yeah. For like a one-purpose controller, I think that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. But I mean, controllers usually aren't made for one purpose.
Exactly.
And for that to be solely, that's sculpted for set type of players, set person standards. It's great. But on the hand, if you wanted to, for a controller that anybody can pick up, it has to be the MLG controller. That being said, it's a case of training yourself to not pull that trigger in all the way. So, given it because I'm a first-person shooter Pro Circuit Pro League player, and you're considered just an amateur. Yeah, it's to find a controller that it really does work between the two of us. It's definitely one to go for. So, from the Big Kill Clan site, this is your host, Alucard221984 and Commissar Jake. The conclusion to this is I'm going to now add in the cost comparison. So the bang for your buck, we're still looking at the MLG controller. And I won't be able to pull it up, but I will give you, I'll probably post links in it sometime for that. But I will just go and give you guys, Jacob, a look.
My memory serves me right. You said the scuff controllers run about 120?
Yeah,
On
the
average.
scuff
Like,
controllers.
not exactly, but like up and down,
Quite.
about 120 on average. How much do you get one? G controller, that's the important part. 420 pounds, 42 pounds? Yeah, I would probably get one of those.
I would, yeah.
Well, sorry, actually, wow, much more expensive if you want an Xbox One.
See what I mean? You have to take the Xbox One in, but if you look at that, it's not from Amazon.
Oh yeah, true.
And I bet you these guys have like had them in stock. Fuck if not. I mean, this one's still in production. And as you can see, it's from Amazon.
That's from Amazon, yeah. As you kind of pointed out earlier, it's probably going to be a lot easier to get the PlayStation 3 one than it is the Xbox One, because you said you got yours.
Yeah, if Mike hadn't turned around and said to me, I've got an Xbox One, I would never have actually owned one. But, I mean, even if you comparison, that's basically, I hate to say it, but that's like, you know, thumb in your eye, sort of like, you know, we're going to stick it to you because they've been in the back of the store collecting us, then we know how good the controllers are. If you want something to rival a scuff.
So, like, if you shop around, you probably find something a little cheap and maybe a little bit more expensive. It's all about looking around.
Well, here we go. Here's just another way of sticking it to you. To be dead honest. That's you can get them cheaper off the official site.
Yeah.
And just for your viewers at home, I know you can't see what we're looking at, but somebody's trying to sell on Amazon a scuff controller for £20 dearer.
No, 140. Yeah.
And then I mean, you can get guys. That's from
Gimmick Up. Gimmick UK, that's the company that's selling them.
Yeah, no, that's the people who are selling.
Yeah, just that selling.
But it's actually Cynic controller.
Oh, no.
I think that's another scuff. No, it looks like a scuff.
That's very much like a scuff. I think actually maybe the other scuff controller, yeah, because it was two camera ones, so it's a digital camera and there was that one.
Yeah, so somebody's selling similar. But the difference being is it's not. It's somebody using very similar to it, but they're charging a lot more. That's death. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not quite. See, you can load a normal controller, but you're not wanting.
Anyone can mod a controller, but at least with scuff, you know, you have a guarantee of quality.
Yeah, you're guaranteed that it's registered that you can go and take that to an MLG event. Same with an MLG Pro Circuit controller. You can't with anything that's not. And Cinch controllers or Gina UK, you can't. I click that, the first thing that comes up, Mad Cats. And Mad Cats, you see the Pro League badge in the middle of the controller, you know you've got what you came for. Yeah, tell a lie, it's Gimmick that's making it. Yeah. COD ready controller. So
basically designed the ones that scuff offer.
Yeah, but they do go overboard with this bullet things.
Not sure how good that would be of shiny metal, I suppose, but
it's not really, it's just painted.
Oh, they just painted it all like that.
Yeah.
It's a gimmick.
Epic Mods, there's another company that's trying to do ones. That's just another 360 controller with different buttons.
Yep.
To be dead honest.
Yep.
But are you going to want that? Probably not. You're wanting a name. You're wanting the whole. See, this is an MLG one. I wonder if we got a better look at the cup. Here we go. Wouldn't actually own that headset at all. But MLG, unfortunately, I hate to say it, guys, but there's the shadow. you know, you can't companies have got to move for the tides, and they've got to show things. And you know, we'll put links down below to Amazon. You can just look up the controllers. Just type in MLG controller or Scuff controller. You'll not find Scuffs on Amazon unless you find a second hand one, and then you really wouldn't want that. I use Lime. Hands up to them. They're really quite good. But if you really want your hands on a Scuff controller, if you're not getting
if you want a Scuff just how you want it, you have to go for the manufacturer because they do offer some customization.
No, it's not. You'll get the discounts. You can plug in your favorite YouTuber's name into it. Except mine. I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them. But yeah, follow Nadeshot, follow Midnight, follow Complexity, follow what's the rest of the team? Phase, any of them. You'll get links to get discounts. Just follow them. Have a look at their videos. You'll see their discount rates and just plug their name into the official websites and you'll get a discount. That's how I got a discount on my Scuff. So in essence, plus the fact they get a kickback, they will actually get money off for you buying shit from them. So it's always nice to use their thing. And I used Midnight for the last time, so I will probably use Nadeshots on the next one. I will feel bad since it's not going to be an optic controller, but they never seem to have them in stock, to be dead honest. I'll maybe give the wife a phone and say, look, I want an optic one, or I want a complexity one. But then again, I might just phone her up and say, look, I want a red one, and I want combed heads so that when I push my control bricks on them and everything else. That being said, that's pretty much that's it for the show. We will hit you up with the video and you'll get to hear us, but there'll be no intro and no hello, how's you doing? So it's later from me, Master Alucard221984, otherwise known as Alucard221984. Pass you on to Jake for his farewell.
Ta-ta.
I'm sure one of these days he's going to have a channel of his own. No?
No, I just wouldn't do it often enough. Just don't have the time or effort. Yeah. I want to play many games. I like experiencing all these kinds of things. I don't think I could do all you could do.
Oh, well. So basically everything you're here, you're just going to like put it on stream and just be like my other Joe.
I could be your other Joe if you want, to be honest.
No, we're not taking the trademark from Angry Joe. Right? It's the best way to put it because you had a lot of fun today, I think.
It's alright.
And, I mean, it is good. It's good to that time. And, I mean, what else would you be doing on your day off?
Yeah, true.
You'd be stuck at bars. But that's another topic for another. So that's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Jake, and we'll catch you on the next review, wouldn't it? Because we've not got another unboxing here for a good whack. Unless I get games, and then... It's not really an unboxing.
There's not very much coming out anyway.
Yeah, there is. Shit. You know what's coming out tomorrow? What? Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh yeah, the new Wolfenstein game.
Yeah, Wolfenstein's out, and we've got...
Saying that, if we consider what's done after the original Wolfenstein, all the rest of them have been of dubious quality at best.
This looks good.
It does look alright.
But let's put it this way. What's the one company we wanted back into working on Wolfenstein?
It's software.
What?
Yeah, the company you remember.
ID.
Yeah. No, that's pronounced it because it says the ego, super ego.
Yeah, but who was the other team that worked with them?
Raven?
Nope.
No, it's not Raven.
You got to mind that they broke packs with ID to go work on the rivaling.
I'm going to mouse.
3D Realms.
Oh, 3D Realms. Which, that's both a blessing and a curse at the same time, because if you really think about it, 3D Realms was the original publisher for several games back in the early 90s.
What other big game did they work on?
Dude, forever. They did.
They did.
They did.
But you got to remember, going back to when they left ID, they'd made Jake.
They did, yeah.
You kind of beat them. That was a good game.
It was a pretty good game in its time, but the major problem is that Well, it's always been trying to be the cutting edge of technology. You know, they were the first ones to do a first-person game. They were the first people to get into the kind of big 3D gaming with Quake and that kind of stuff. And they've always been ahead of the pack. They keep moving forward and forward and forward. Well, back in the day, I can't really speak for Realms anymore, 3D Realms, because they kind of went a bit shit for a while.
But they do. But they kept the essence of a shooter.
They want.
But guys, we'll end this here, and we will bring on that game. If I so happen to get my hands on it tomorrow, it's out tomorrow, we might switch things up, because I'll probably get it for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, can't bother.
If it's not a cooperative multiplayer, I will still get it. We'll both have a crack on it, but I'll go on the Xbox One. Because let's face it, I only have one controller for the Xbox One for the moment. And the other stuff's on PS4. So, and we have to do a review on the PS4 anyway. So, that being said, it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from him, and we will catch you on the next show. Peace out.